So here it is. It's about 2016. I'm teaching at a truck driving school. And I decide that this lady puts up these vending machines for sale for $8,000. Well, I happen to have about $4,000 sitting in my bank account. So I went up to her and I said, and a lot of people would try to talk them down and stuff like that, but I was like, I can make some money with that. Because I was spending $6 to $7 a day in a Pepsi, alone. I've always got a Pepsi can. You watch enough of my videos, you see me drinking Pepsi and smoking cigarettes, all that. I said, well, I'll go up and make her an offer. So I said, I'll pay you $4,000 cash now, and in 6 months, I'll pay you another $4,000. My theory is that the vending machines would make about $3,000 to $4,000 in the period of time, and I'd only have to come up with an additional $1,000 out of my own pocket. Now that didn't really plan out very well, because this is an example of taking a risk. She went with the deal. I gave her $4,000, and I got control of the vending machines, and I started making money with them the very next day. These vending machines were just 5 regular vending machines, and I probably made about $350 a week in sales off of them. So they were doing about $1,200. The trucking company that I went into, that I bought the vending machines, all of a sudden they started coming in, well, that's a violation of code of ethics, and almost lost them, because I was like either going to have to quit my job and run the vending machines, because I forgot what the hell they call it. Anyway, I'll think of it here in a second. It's conflict of interest, because I worked there and I owned the vending machines at the same time that I was selling stuff to the students. But eventually, I was a decent enough instructor where they said that either that or my heart was beating, and it's hard to find instructors for like $16 an hour or $17. The nice thing about it was you were home every night. So between that and the vending machines, you could figure my hourly pay went up to about $30 an hour or something. But I was restocking the vending machines. The other thing is, this company was bought out by Warner, and they decided to come in a month later and shut the school down because it wasn't making a profit, or anyway, a corporation can lay you off at any time. It's not a secure job. They want you to be all in the family atmosphere and stuff like that. But a corporation, they can lay you off at any time. Any big entity. I mean, just look at the government layoffs that's going on right now. People think, I can work for the U.S. government and everything will be fine. Well, it all depends. If your job is deemed unnecessary, well, your future's on the chopping block, and you're going to have to figure something else out. So I figured, as an entrepreneur, why not build a life to where I've got control of everything? Even though it has its ups and downs, you definitely have more control over your life whenever you got control of your company and the way you make money. So the company went completely out of business. I had to remove the vending machines, and I just spent, $4,000, and I had a $8,000 to spend over, the next 6 months. I had to pay a total of $8,000. So a lot of people were like, "Oh, I can't believe you bought that." You have people talking all the time. I can't believe it. What are you going to do now? It's like people want to see you fail. If people see you starting to get ahead, there are so many people around you. A lot of times, it's your close people that you think are your friends. They want to see you fail so bad. Sad but true. Therefore, I've really cut a lot of friends out that I used to think were friends. But the thing is, a lot of people just want to see you fail. They want to rub your noses in it. And that's basically what happened whenever I bought this company. "Oh, yeah, what are you going to do now?" "Boy, he just spent $8,000. Well, I went outside with no help, and I went outside and I just started going from door to door different places. Hey, you need a vending machine? Hey, you need a vending machine? And I got sick, and I was at this medical facility, and I remember they were saying, well, can you do milk? And I said, yeah. I didn't know whether or not I could do milk or not, but turns out you can put milk in a vending machine, the ones that I had. And they called me up a couple months later saying, hey, we want you to put vending machines in up here. And they said, but we don't want you to just put them in here. We want you to put them in every one of our facilities, which turned out to be like 6 facilities. And I was doing really good at the time, had decent credit, and I was able to go up and take a loan out for $30,000, and that allowed me to buy my van and put in these vending machines. I didn't realize it, but after I've spread these vending machines out and got these extra locations, I started making like $2,000 to $3,000 a month just on the vending machines that I had. Now that's gross, so you figure about an extra $1,500 a month. And a lot of people with a steady job are making well more than that. I mean, as a truck driver, I think I was making an average of $4,800 a month. But during the time that I was paying child support, I wasn't making nearly that. Half my, 25% of my check was going to child support. Just automatically came out of my check and went to the ex-wife. And that's a whole different story right there. That's a mental thing that once you start paying child support and you go through a divorce and all the money that's involved there, that's a mental thing that you got to get over. And there's a lot of people that go through that. A lot of people just don't want to pay. And then you get into the court battles of taking your license and them threatening to put you in jail. So there's a lot of traps. If you go back to the video that I was talking about previously about not having kids at an early age, that's one of those traps you'll avoid. As a matter of fact, my personal opinion is stop reproducing. Eventually, shit would come up, but that's just my own personal opinion. You do what you want. Actually, you can't really do what you want, because probably a lot of you are just going to do it and it's going to happen. But hopefully you don't go through, I didn't go through that much hell, to be honest. Me and my ex-wife, we still get along, and we still talk from time to time, but some people just go through absolute hell. And man, I know out of 8 billion people that have the potential to watch this video, just listening to this is going to save one of you. So that was that. And then during this time, I started paying a guy to mow my lawn. And I was paying him like $80 a week to mow my lawn at the house so that I could continue doing the business. And that's whenever I realized that I make money and buy other people's time with the money that I make so that I can have more time. And then I realized how much he was making. I was like, man, if he does 10 or 15 lawns a day, he's doing pretty damn good. So why not I get into that? So I started hiring people for my vending company, and then that freed up time for me to start the landscape company, where in turn I started making pretty decent money. Now, I didn't want to make too much money because I didn't want to pay too many taxes. So I figured out, well, how can I make enough money to have time and not pay a lot of taxes? So you start researching how much money is your standard deduction, $24,000. Where can I get equity? And, loans. If you take loans out on your assets, well, you don't pay any taxes on loans. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. I'm going to get more detailed into all this. But this is only for the people that are looking at doing stuff. I'm sitting in my van right now. Here it is, 5:30 in the morning, just to talk about all the stuff that I've gone through. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I've got Lamborghinis. I'm not going to tell you that I'm sitting in a $400,000 house. Those are nice, and I don't think I would ever really buy any of that big stuff. Money to me, is a tool that allows me time. And if I give all my money to the banks or a mortgage company, then all of a sudden I become a slave to them. So having enough money just to have my time back every day and be able to sit at 5:30 in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning and sit and ponder, maybe drink a cup of coffee, to me that's more valuable. And when the first of the month rolls by and my expenses are $400 a month, that is priceless. Because I know that a lot of people on the very first of the month, they have $1,200 to $3,000 a month mortgage payments. Boom. That's a lot of damn money. That's a lot of time you have to work for a corporation just to give that money to a bank where you're barely paying down your principal because the fucking loan is so high. But that's the American dream. And a lot of people believe it and a lot of people live it. But my American dream is a little bit different. I would say that my American dream is one of peace up here in the mine. And I really enjoy it. And the first time that the first of the month rolls around and you don't have to fork out $3,000, $4,000 a month, and then if you were to lose your job or something and you think you own your house, don't pay your taxes on it for a few years and see if you own your house. I do believe that if you own 100% of everything, you can always go out and get a loan. And I'll get into that because there's a certain percentage, like, if you own $100,000 and you can make $20,000 to $30,000 a year, and you take a loan out for $20,000, and then you repay that loan over a period, and you look at the standard deduction for a married couple of $24,000. If you make $24,000 to pay off a $24,000 loan, well, you don't fucking pay any taxes. At least in theory. Shit could change. And if you look at all the stuff your tax money's being spent on, you can see all the stuff. I mean, even with these cigarettes right here, I pay like $7 a fucking pack for taxes on these. So I pay taxes, just pay them in a different way. I pay my sales taxes. I don't have any tax exempt numbers. And by the end of the year, normally whenever I figure out my taxes, I don't hardly owe anything. If I do owe anything, it may be a couple $100. Now, if I went out and I really kicked ass and stuff like that, I might be paying $20,000 or $30,000 in taxes. But man, that's a lot of money just to give to the government to send off to do some weird shit that they're talking about. So, my incentive to work has always been there. But my incentive to freedom is a hell of a lot higher, if that makes any sense. So, I don't need to keep up with the Joneses. And these are little things that I go through, and there's the reason why I think my business is somewhat successful. As time goes on, I'll be able to talk a lot more about it. But if you could take just a one piece or two pieces of information and apply it to what you're going through, because everybody's situation is different. Not everybody has the same situation and the same people that I deal with to get what I got. Everybody has a different way of making it work. I'm making it work. For the most part, I'm happy. I have my ups and downs. I have my good customers. I have the bad customers. I have the days that just go to pure shit. And you wonder how you're going to make it from one day to the next. But over the last few years, I've been able to eliminate a lot of that. And that's what this little video series is about. Just me talking, and maybe you guys out there who are thinking about starting a business or maybe you can relate. Maybe it'll put a smile on your face of some of the stuff that I've been through. And a lot of you will know that I'm talking the exact truth of what I'm talking about. But a lot of the problems, almost every problem that I deal with, can be solved with my own head. But I am human, and sometimes I get highly pissed off. But it's thinking about it in a logical sense on how to deal with situations. Sometimes you just need to walk away from stuff, sometimes for a week, a couple of days, take some deep breaths, come back in and reevaluate, and find out whether or not you just need to walk away from it altogether. Money's important. You do need it. It's the way the world works. But you can barter, and you can do a lot of other things. So, hope you guys enjoy. And as the years move on, more people will watch these videos. I got started on this YouTube thing not very long ago, and this video is getting up there close to 20 minutes, so I'll cut it off. But I started doing YouTube back in 2012, trying to post a bunch of stuff like look at me play the guitar, look at me sing songs about my ex-wife. And I finally realized that maybe instead of trying to concentrate more on me, is what can I do for you as far as all the problems and stuff that I've gone through, because we all go through them, and you don't really get a lot of genuine thought. So that's what I'm going to try to do, is give you guys as much information just from everyday experiences that I've lived through, building my business, the struggles. Because I'm not going to sit here and tell you like I got a Lamborghini and how to make $100,000 a year. You guys are going to have to figure that out for yourself. I'm not going to sell you on a special program for $20 or $30 a month. I'm not going to Matthew Lesko you. You know, I bought his books back in the day, and basically he told, I think he said in his book, like, you can go copy all this shit from the public library. And I was like, man, I just spent $90 on this stuff. And it's funny because I just saw him the other day on here, and he's getting old, but he still wears the question mark suit and all that. But I'm not going to say that because I bought his stuff back in the 90s that I didn't learn a thing from it, because you can learn from everything. So sometimes you pay for your education, but there's so much that you can get for free. And YouTube is probably one of the greatest tools in the world for learning stuff that's come out. I mean, before it used to be you opened up an encyclopedia and you tried to figure it out, or you went to the public library and you read books, but now information is right at the tip of your fingers. And there's a few people that will listen to you, just like there's a few people out there that'll listen to me. And for the thing that we call life, the best thing you can do is share your knowledge and move on. And everybody try to live in peace and harmony for the best of our ability. That's a pipe dream as well. It's hard to get people to work together. But if you like what you're watching, hope to talk to y'all one day, or at least, just listen. Leave a comment down below. You don't even have to subscribe if you don't want, because I'm just living life. Trying to share a little bit of my life with you, and if you're willing to listen, I thank you. And you all have a good day. And I'll see you on the next video.